Welcome everybody to our Object Matrix and Signiant webinar, where we'll be talking about simplifying in a hybrid cloud workflow and a hybrid cloud world. My name's Mark Aberfield. I'm a pre-sales engineer here at Object Matrix. And on the line today, we have our CTO at Object Matrix, Francisco, and hopefully coming back to us very soon, the CEO of Signiant, Robert, who has some slides to present as well. He was on before the webinar started, but sadly dropped off for some reason, and we hope he's back shortly. So we're going to give you a look at object storage and media workflows in the hybrid world from our unique lens in the M&E workspace. And we'll do that by firstly telling you a little bit about ourselves, where we come from, etc., and then telling you, answering a few key questions that people keep asking us. The webinar is being recorded. Obviously, we'll allow it back nicely edited and cut up, and also feel free to pop anything you want to talk about in the chat window, and we'll answer those questions as we're going along. So first things first, who are we? Well, we are Object Matrix. We are a object storage company started back in 2003, and my bosses, including Francisco, all came from previous companies that all produced some of the first object storages in the world. We've been focusing on media workflows for a long time and a proven track record of working with the media industry and understanding the media industry, empowering the creatives to do the things that they do best and concentrating on their workflows, and also developing with those workflows as well, ensuring that the end user has a good experience with object storage. Well, how did we do that? And, when did we do that? Well, back in 2004, we had an object storage and an API. And actually in 2005, we had an online archive, one of the first clouds that existed in the world. We actually also then picked up a couple of the first media customers for Object Matrix as well in 2006. And then we went away and thought about it a bit and started building our applications to be more and more media focused. There were specific integrations with Avid and Adobe, etc., that came around in 2009. And from there onwards, we were growing and growing and growing. It's interesting that we talk about the hybrid world because many of our customers, they had on-prem systems, but they started realizing that the product was, had the ability to share across the internet, and the faster the internet got, the more people were working remotely, and the easier it was to have it in a hybrid world. So we did things for some of our customers back in 2015, 2016, where we were putting the actual matrix store, the product, the storage itself, into data centers and making private clouds for our end users. Well, it wasn't too much of a jump for us to actually then put our own matrix stores in data centers and start delivering matrix store cloud to our customers. And that's how we've built our way into the hybrid cloud workflows. So you've heard me say the word matrix store quite a few times. And what is a matrix store? Well, matrix store is the object storage. A lot of people call it Object Matrix, but it's a media focus, private, hybrid, and now public cloud. It modernizes your workflow. It's always had business continuity built in at heart. The ability to pick up and carry on working wherever you are has always been a core functionality of matrix store. And we've also found our customers then realizing this started to, bring all of their media archives into matrix store to create online archives. Again, accessible from everywhere, which allowed people to have their own cloud effectively. Private cloud, hybrid cloud, and the cloud world was so easy for our customers to jump over to. It's also future-proof in not only the ability to scale, but the workflows, the access, the ability to change ourselves to adapt to our customers and allow our customers to use their matrix stores in a really useful way. So matrix stores had interfaces. We've had standard file system interfaces, but we've also had more recently the standard S3 interfaces and HTTP vision interface, a media browser that allows you to see in any browser your assets on your Matrix store. Well, those two tools alone allowed us to very easily cross over into the cloud world and make simple jump for our customers into that cloud world, allowing people the ability to work very nicely with their Matrix store. The Matrix store itself has built-in smarts. And what does that mean? It means it's got the ability to know the media workflows. It knows if your system has media metadata, and we'll extract that. We know if how the data needs to be handled, what policies need to be applied to it, and also how many copies you need of it, where those copies need to be, etc. in there. So it's full business rule support allow that. Matrix store is also multi-tenancy, and again that brings us to the simplicity of being able to switch over to the cloud world, the ability to just share sections of the Matrix stores to our customers and allow them to see the world of Matrix store. I still haven't seen Robert come back to me, unfortunately, and I'm now starting to get a bit worried. But back in the early part of this year, we particularly broke Matrix store out a little bit into 3 distinct sections. I mean, it's always been an on-prem, and it's always had the ability to be hybrid. And more recently, we've pushed it into the cloud architecture and delivering cloud abilities. That means that we've got a very nice deployment that means it's very easy for our customers to, again, simply get over to that hybrid cloud workflows. The on-prem being a small or a large Matrix store in-house that's got an active archive. Nobody's got to go in and change LTO tapes or do anything to it. We've got the Matrix store cloud accessible from anywhere via the standard HTTP protocols, with replication built in between those for easy moving of the data and collaboration. And of course, the remote locations, again, replication between multiple sites. And of course, the tie-in with the public clouds, the ability to allow that data to be in several places at once. So we always have the mandatory customer slide, and those customers that we've had for a long time. Quite a lot of them are media, but you'll see some of them are also frame-based companies who do more of the advertising side of things. But you'll also see on there a couple of banks and energy companies. That's kind of a testament to our security protocols, etc. In the world. Afraid I can't see Robert in our meeting, unfortunately, which is starting to worry me. So I'm going to just crack on and ask Francisco the first question while I see where we are. So Francisco, on-prem, yes, edge servers, or all cloud? Where's the balance from your point of view?
Well, it depends. It depends depending on the workflows that you're going to run. There is, at the moment, our customers are mostly on-prem, but we see a big spike in going into and using the cloud. But where is the balance? It depends on the workflows that you're running. There is not a single solution that solves all the problems or improves all the workflows. But I think there is always a point in the hybrid range that adapts better to your needs.
Yeah, that's a good question. What we hear from our customers is that's really workflow dependent. There's certain workflows that they prefer to keep on-prem. There's other workflows that are suitable for the cloud. And we've seen a real change in that as well over the last 6 months, as people are now working from home and remote productions, use cases that a lot of customers thought were better serviced on-prem. They figured out ways to do it in the cloud. But what's the right balance? It really depends on, I think, the workflow and then the associated cost economics that go with it.
So Francisco, yes, fastest, easiest, or cheapest? What's the best way to bulk move rushes in a media workflow, in your opinion?
Well, I think the best is to move data media quickly, securely, and reliably. And these are aspects that are common to both solutions, Signian and Object Matrix products. Signian, they focus on all three quickly, especially on the quickly side. That's what they really complement our solution to move data quickly across all different internet lines. Doesn't matter we've got, they're gonna use us as much as possible. But they're going to do these transfers in a secure and reliable way, and that complements very nicely with our products, because security and reliability, integrity of the data are very important aspects of our solution. So in that sense, these are, I mean, we have very complementary products.
Well, I cover a lot of this in my slides. I don't know if we want to go back and do those, Mark, but you know, part of, as you're moving content to the cloud or utilizing the cloud, there's several factors that have been barriers for customers that we have helped them with. First off, in media and entertainment in particular, you're dealing with really large file sets. So you need to be able to move content of any size in and out of your cloud platform. It needs to be easy so that your end users really should have no idea that they're using cloud storage. They should have no hurdles or obstacles to overcome to use the cloud. You have to preserve your security model. You have to support acceleration or fast file transfer, because these are time-sensitive operations. It can't take a day to get your content in and out of the cloud. And you have to be able to do this on a global basis. And those are all the values that Signiant brings to our customers when moving large media files in and out of cloud storage.
Does Media Shuttle integrate with all other systems then?
For sure. So we have a very robust API set to integrate with a wide range of third-party systems or customers specific or customer-built systems. We also integrate with a wide range of storage platforms, whether it's on-prem file store, on-prem object store, cloud object store, cloud file store, for that matter. So we make the storage completely abstract. So the customer, the end user, will have no idea what the backend storage is behind our products. And then we've got a whole host of third-party integrations with MAM systems, editing, transcode, rendering. Because what we find when customers are moving files, they not only want to connect to different storage systems globally, they also want to connect to service endpoints, whether that's and more we're seeing things like editing in the cloud, QC in the cloud, and so on. So we've got a wide range of integrations with third-party systems.
Great. So what trends are we seeing in terms of cloud providers? Shall I ask Francisco, how much in Amazon versus Google and the others first?
Well, it's difficult to have an exact figure, but we see in the media workflows a trend to use more Amazon. Amazon is, I think, is clearly the leader there, and the rest are catching up. But you know, there are more and more also providing cloud services like ourselves. So now there is more specialization. The cloud is not just one single cloud. There are different kinds of clouds and cloud services that adapt better to different workflows, to media workflows, for instance. But I think, I mean, at the moment, still Amazon is the leader.
Is that what you're seeing as well, Robert?
Yeah, we're seeing similar trends. Amazon, in terms of the big public cloud providers, it would be Amazon, Azure, followed by Google. But other trends we are seeing with our customers is, well, everybody has a hybrid solution. Nobody's using exclusively cloud. There's still some on-premise, the ratio of which depends on the customer. But we've also seen the vast majority, and I would say over 80% of our customers using a multi-cloud strategy. So Amazon was absolutely the dominant leader in the media and entertainment space, but we've seen Azure, Google, and Object Matrix and others starting to gain traction as customers start to adopt a multi-cloud strategy. So,
cool. So, what types of connection do I need to make this work?
well, I can jump in there quickly. Any network will work. So we'll support people using low-speed work-at-home networks, all the way up to 10, even 100 gig connections between sites. You would think the need for accelerated file transfer would go down when you have bigger network connections. You can actually take more advantage of accelerated file transfers with bigger network connectivity. But we can work across any network from, low speed home networks all the way through to, like I say, multi-gig corporate networks.
Yeah, for us, well, we have products which are based on web protocols, so you can use our products with normal internet lines. But indeed, what Signiant brings is a better use of any type of line to transfer media in complementing our applications.
Cool. Well, I mean, security is a big concern for us. How are we keeping these assets secure in our cloud workflows?
Well, from our side, is we use the same security aspects that we used on premise. For us, security has been very important from day one. And even if we were running our systems on premise, we were customizing the OS's applications using protocols with encryptions. Authentication was always there. So for us, there's always been a concern. And the cloud is not a difference. So it's even more. So the systems are more exposed, but we use technologies to tackle these issues and situations.
Yeah. And it would be similar on our side. We deal with content in flight when you're moving content between systems. So there's full authentication, encryption when it's in transit at AES 256 level. There's access control, so you can limit the rights that people have to access systems. Our security model is really comprehensive. Access control rights or least privilege access even for our operations people. We do continuous audits, quarterly audits with a company called ISE, an independent security evaluation company that's used by many media companies. And we've been certified by some of the largest studios and broadcasters on the world. So we take security very seriously, and it's something that's part of the development mentality on an ongoing basis and operations.
Yeah, same for us.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, I mean, how can the customers benefit from both technologies?
Using them both together. We have complementary solutions, and yeah, by using them together, you can benefit from all the benefits that our solutions bring separately, but and together. The nice thing is that there is no disruption. You can continue benefit from the features of both technologies together, even when you use them separately or together.
Yeah, correct. I agree with that. That just use the, we can move the files in and out of the storage platforms such as Object Matrix on premise or in the cloud. We can also provide, I'll call it globalization of that. So if you have content stored in, Object Matrix or any storage platform in one location, and you've got people across the world who are trying to get access to it, you don't have to create another copy of that data close to them. With our accelerated secure file transfer technology, you can allow access for people to upload or download content to that storage endpoint from anywhere in the world. So allowing you to grow central hub again, whether on-prem. Don't tell me.
Hello.
Hi. We all still here?
Okay.
Okay.
I think.
Stay with us, Robert, because it's over to you now for your slides.
Sure. Well, I covered some of the content in the slides, but so I'll be quick because I go through. So the theme is really about what we're doing with helping cloud storage use. 20 has been a crazy challenging year where, in January, we're kind of like what's up in February, it was still, people were looking out, and then chaos hit in March. And we saw some very significant adoption of our products in April and May as the pandemic went into full swing. Once people got through that first volley of chaos, they started planning really what are they going to be doing going forward, and what does the new reality look like? And for a lot of companies, they think the new reality is going to be different than what they were doing pre-pandemic. And then, of course, the second wave hit, and a second round of chaos hit. But a lot of the planning that they've been doing is now just going to stay in effect. You go on the next slide, Mark. And there, Mark. Mark.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So one of the things we found was that there was a lot of
I think we're losing you, Robert.
Guidelines produced by a lot of companies in the media and entertainment industry. In common with far fewer people on it. Oh, hear me now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, great. All
going
right.
in and out of it, but I think we're getting most of it.
Okay, well, it was remote usage is really the one guideline, whether you're on a studio lot, in a building, in a post-production site, and so on. Another major trend we saw was the growth in cloud usage, and 230% over the last 12 months. And in fact, the October numbers are even higher. And by the way, we're now moving multi-petabytes per month into and out of the cloud and cloud storage endpoints. Another trend that's not on the slide that we also saw is there was a shift from egress. The ratio of ingress to egress transfers went from kind of like 25-75 to 50-50, even 40-60, where there's more egress now than ingress. And what that indicates is customers are changing their workflows in how they're using the cloud. So instead of it being, archive second copy, they're now starting to do things like creating collaboration hubs and processing and editing hubs in the cloud that generate more egress traffic. So it was an interesting indicator. And we're continuing to follow up on that to learn how our customers are changing the workflows that they're doing in the cloud. Next slide. And we've already talked about this. AWS remains the leader, but hybrid cloud and multi-cloud is the norm now for sure. Okay. Next slide. And as we gathered this information, it wasn't from a few big studios or whatever. Our media and entertainment customers include the largest, broadcast and cable operators, studios, station groups, and so on. Next slide, Mark. And it includes smaller post-production houses, sports agencies, gaming companies, and so on. So the trends that we saw are pervasive across the market. It's not just a few big companies. It's the big ones, the small ones. It's really a pervasive set of trends across the entire media and entertainment ecosystem. And on the next slide, we also have some very large customers outside of media and entertainment, whether it's in life sciences or video or oil and gas and so on. And we're seeing very similar trends there in that people are going to remote work and work at home and increasing their use of the cloud. So the trends that we've seen are cut across our entire customer base. It's not just the media and entertainment industry. It's really, most industries, certainly all the industries that we've served, that we've seen those trends in. Next slide. And I talked a bit about this. So some of the challenges our customers have had when embracing the cloud is that they're moving really large data sets. So this isn't just something you can put in, Dropbox or whatever. These are really large data sets, and they're extremely valuable data sets. So you have to make sure that they're not only secure, but that you have reliability to make sure that those assets get delivered intact. And they've got to be done, moved quickly because they're time-sensitive operations, and they've got to be done on a global basis because people are doing, remote users may be anywhere in the world. So next slide, Mark. So we've got two different products that help solve this problem. So the first one is Media Shuttle, and Media Shuttle is used for person-initiated transfers, whether you're uploading or downloading content or sending big files between people. Media Shuttle addresses the issues that those files can be any size. They can be moved to and from any storage platform with maximum speed, reliability, and security. And next slide. And Media Shuttle's used, it's really the de facto standard in the media and entertainment industry, used by over 500,000 users in pretty much every country and territory in the world. We have thousands of customers that then connect to their customers. So we've got over 25,000 businesses connected and over 7,000 portals, what they're called. And I'll show you what a portal is on the next slide. Well, maybe the slide after this, but anyway, so some of the values of Media Shuttle I talked about already is things like you can accelerate the uploads or downloads or the user-initiated transfers so that you can transfer content anywhere in the world. And we provide full security, but also reliability around it. So for example, one simple example of reliability is if a transfer fails, you can start where you left off. So if you're transferring really large files, you don't have to resume from the beginning again. The next slide, Mark. And then I talked already about the security model. This is just completely ingrained in our products and our whole development methodology. So full security. We also provide 3 different what are called portal types, and these are user interfaces that solve different user-initiated workflows. So if you're just trying to transfer files between people, you would use the send portal. If you're trying to create a collaboration portal where you can upload and download content and share content and so on, that would be a share portal. And if you're just having a delivery portal, where people are submitting content to you, maybe like spot ads or whatever, you can use what's called a submit portal. So we make it very easy for users to choose the appropriate portal type depending on the workflow or the problem they're trying to solve. Next slide. And the design of the portals is meant to be super easy to use so that users, this is an example of a share portal where users would be able to go in and be able to select and send and upload and download files really without any training or whatever. You can brand these portals, you could change the language, so we support multi-language and so on. And the storage behind these portals is completely abstracted to the user. The end user has no idea what the storage is or where it is. And on the next slide is an example of I think this is a submit portal, and you can go to the next slide, Mark, and this is what a send portal would look like. And again, fully branded, super easy to use with a whole host of capabilities. Another advantage of Media Shuttle, and it's really the top green box there, where there's 3 different what we call personas. So IT are the ones who would create a portal. So when they create a portal, they install our software. If it's not already installed, they assign it to storage. They select the security level, and they're done. And so they're the only ones who would know what the underlying storage is behind a portal. Then they would pass control to a portal administrator, and that actually happens automatically. They just put in the email addresses of the portal admins. And then the portal admins are the ones who can brand the portal, choose the language, choose the notifications, select the members, and define the rights that each member has or user has. And then the end users are the ones who use the system and transfer the data. Okay. And on the next slide, one of the key things is that it's the same experience for the portal administrator and the end users, regardless of what the underlying storage platform is, whether it's on-premise file store, on-premise object store, or a wide range of public cloud storage. Okay. Next slide. And the other key thing is we provide a SaaS layer around Media Shuttle. So all of the web interfaces, the software uploads, the reporting, the analytics, and so on, we all host as a SaaS service. So it makes it very easy for our users to get going. When the user transfers data, however, it does not go through our cloud. The data will go from the end user to the storage, or from the storage to the end user, depending on whether they're uploading or downloading. So what we call the data layer, or the data plane, the data will always move from source to target. It will never go through our cloud layer. And on the next slide, and in order to make it easy for users to use the big 3 object store vendors, AWS, Azure, and Google, we actually run the servers in the cloud for them. We have multi-region, multi-tenant, auto-scaling, fully backed up, et cetera, sets of servers around the world, but it's the customer storage. So the customer just defines the portal, tags the storage or assigns the storage to that portal, and they're good to go. So it's very, very easy for our customers to get up and use public cloud storage. The next slide. We also have a product called Jet that allows you to automate the transfers of large files between locations. So again, Media Shuttle is for user-initiated uploads or downloads, transfers. Jet is used when you want to automate those transfers. On the next slide. And Jet, like Media Shuttle, the control plane we host in our SaaS layers. So again, the reporting, the analytics, the software upgrades, and so on, all come from our control plane, the job set up. But when you go to transfer the data, the transfer will occur between the locations that you set up, in this case, New York and London. So the data will never go through our cloud layer. It goes from endpoint to endpoint. And on the next slide, and it's very, very easy to set up Jet. You would install the Jet servers in either location. By the way, it's the same software bundle as Media Shuttle. So if you already had Media Shuttle installed, you could just license enable Jet on that same endpoint. But you would install the Jet endpoint software. You would create a route between those locations, and then you can run one or more jobs. And all of that's managed through our SaaS layer, where there's really simple job setups. It would literally take minutes once the software is installed. We, of course, provide full visibility and reporting and analytics into the transfers through our dashboard. So next slide, Mark. Yeah, so again, I think how one of the ways that Signiant helps simplify transfers in the hybrid cloud world is that we deal with the problems that the media and entertainment customers have of huge data sets, high value, time critical, and global transfer requirements. But we also do that with complete storage abstraction, both on-premise and the cloud, make it super easy to use, so there's no additional friction or challenges when using cloud storage, and very easy to deploy and use.